I don't want to say monkey to one of them.
Shalom.
Shalom. Awesome.
This
my
is
glasses. My glasses.
Waco Israel Ministries.
Slow down.
We do always give all honor and all glory and all praises to the Most High Ahayah and His blessed Son Yashayah for this truth and the awakening that we are seeing in front of our eyes.
Oh man, all over the world, Josh.
The truth of the Bible is coming out, and
That's
there's
right.
nothing that can be done to stop it.
Nothing. Tell
Nothing.
me. Nothing.
Nothing. All praise to the Most High.
All praise.
So,
Awesome. We had an awesome brother call us a little while ago from where, Baltimore, and he's from Haiti. Boston. He's living in Boston. He said Baltimore. I thought, okay, Boston. And what an awesome brother. He's in understanding about a year, and it's really, 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 really blessed to hear a brother that's being persecuted already for truth, being persecuted for truth already. He went to tell a Christian church that they're in error, and that you have to listen to truth, and that this Christianity is a false religion. And they just about threw him out of the church. I said, good, leave, don't stay there.
I want to, before we go into the scriptures tonight, something we haven't done in a while. Hold on. Say something right there.
Okay, so this awakening that you're witnessing on this program, and I'm sure you're looking on YouTube all over, and you're finding this truth. Now I'm talking to our subscribers. I'm talking to people who know the truth now, and it's setting them free from religion.
Mm-hmm.
Do your best to get out of these churches. Even you got to go on the street with a microphone and the truth about the tribes. Do it. If the Most High is leading you, wherever He's leading you, to open up a place. Like, that's why we're asking for offerings, because we want to get a building now or somewhere we can rent, because we have a lot of people in Jacksonville that are believing in the truth now. Because they ask us, they ask me anyway, when they see me in the marketplace, where's your building? Where's your church? You know, I tell them we're in our home right now. So please keep sending donations. Send what you can. It's not about tithing. Tithing's a lie. There's no such thing as tithing unless it's for food. So send what you can, and we sure appreciate it.
I want to go through some of our books. We haven't done that in a while. And read some information here. To show you the strategic plan of the nations that are against the children of Israel. First thing I want to go into is a letter that was written by a slave owner in the 1700s, the Willie Lynch letter.
And it's a true letter. There's no falsehood about this letter. It exposes how the Afro-American's mind has been docile, has been social engineered for 400 years in this country. You want to start? You want to read? You want to read?
I'll read and you read.
Sure, go ahead.
I'll start. This is
now listen. This is the Willie Lynch letter. This is a real letter written by this man who told people 300 years ago, if you listen to this letter, you'll always be able to control them, and that's just what the government.
In my bag here, I have a foolproof method of controlling our black slaves. I guarantee every one of you, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. Many any member of your family or your overseer can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. I make these differences and take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. So the American system uses fear of each other. So they use movies to make black people distrust one another. They use envy. You know, they make you look at these athletes and these actors and envy and try to
they get wanted.
Be like them, and fear. So they show you images of your people being beat down by the police all the time, to always have a sense of unevenness or
uneasiness in your spirit. That's right.
Towards and I'm not saying we're not saying provoke the police, but it's known that the police target minorities above everyone else, and it's even been a proven fact that the American government gets kickbacks from sending black people to jail and Latinos to jail at a higher rate than white people.
That's right. That's correct.
Judges have even been put in jail for getting millions of dollars for putting black people in jail for lesser crimes than white people, and longer sentences.
Let me say this: test the waters. Go to a courtroom one day. Go to a big court where you heard there's these people who got in trouble and they're facing the judge. You'll see. And Josh is right. He's telling the truth. The black man will always get more time. The Hispanic just as much, and the white man less time. Why do you think there's more blacks and Hispanics?
These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the West Indies. So this individual was from what we would call around Jamaica, the West Indies. Plantation in the West Indies, and will work throughout the South. Okay, hold on, everybody. Take these simple little list of differences and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it is there only because it starts with an A. The second is color, shade. So they would make black people essentially think because they're lighter than one another, that one is better than the other. And usually the lighter skinned slave would be the house slave because he looked more like the slave owner. So the slave owner could trust him more than the darker skinned field Negro. Hold this, Dad.
Sure.
I want to show you a video right fast.
We do this at times, so just stay tuned. Stay in.
I want to show you something right fast. I'm going to show them that thing.
Go ahead, take your time, Josh. Our viewers have patience because they know we do this.
I have to say this, and I'll sit down. Back during slavery, When black people like me talk to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro.
I'll show this later, but I want to show the cartoon version of this so you'll get the picture better. The concept of what's being said, then I'll show that before we close.
Yeah, make it short, Josh.
There was two kinds of slaves. There was the house Negro and the field Negro. The house Negro, they lived in the house
talking now.
with master. They dressed pretty good. They ate good because they ate his food, because he left. They lived in the attic or the basement, but still they lived near their master. And they loved their master more than the master loved themselves. They would give their life to save their master's house quicker than the master would. The house Negro, if the master said, we got a good house here, the house Negro said, yeah, we got a good house here. Whenever the master said we, he said we. That's how you can tell a house Negro. If the master's house caught on fire, the house Negro would fight harder to put the blaze out than the master would. If the master got sick, the house Negro would say, what's the matter, boss? We sick. We sick. He identified himself with his master more than his master identified with himself. And if you came to the house Negro and said, let's run away, let's escape, let's separate, that house Negro would look at you and say, man, you crazy. What you mean separate? Where is there a better house than this? Where can I wear better clothes than this? Where can I eat better food than this? That was that house Negro. In those days, he was called a house nigger. And that's what we call him today because we still got some house niggers running around here.
That's right. And they killed Malcolm because he was coming to his understanding of who he really was.
This modern house Negro loves his master.
There you go.
He wants to live near him. He'll pay 3 times as much as the house is worth just to live near his master. And then brag about, I'm the only Negro out here. I'm the only one on my job. I'm the only one in this school. You're nothing but a house Negro. And if someone comes to you right now and say, let's separate, you say the same thing that the house Negro said on the plantation. What you mean separate? From America? This good white man? Where you gonna get a better job than you get here? I mean, this is what you say. I ain't left nothing in Africa. That's what you said. Well, you left your mind in Africa. On that same plantation, there was the field Negro. The field Negro, those were the masses. There was always more Negroes in the field than there was Negroes in the house. The Negro in the field caught hell. He ate leftovers. In the house, they ate high up on the hole. The Negro in the field didn't get nothing but what was left of the insides of the hole. They call them chitlins nowadays. In those days, they call them what they were, guts. That's what you were, a gut eater. And some of you all still gut eaters. The field Negro was beaten from morning till night. He lived in a shack, in a hut. He wore cast-off clothes. He hated his master. I say he hated his master. He was intelligent. That house Negro loved his master. But that field Negro, remember, They were in the majority. And they hated the master. When the house caught on fire, he didn't try and put it out. That field Negro prayed for a wind, for a breeze. When the master got sick, the field Negro prayed that he died. If someone come to the field Negro and said, let's separate, let's run, he didn't say, where we going? He said, any place is better than here. You got field Negroes in America today. I'm a field Negro. The masters are the field Negroes. When they see this man's house on fire, you don't hear these little Negroes talking about our government is in trouble.
The future belongs to those.
The government is in trouble.
The future means the kingdom is done. That's what he's talking about. Not this earth. He knows this earth is going to be gone. Well, I hope you're blessed listening to that. Why, Mary?
That's why he got killed.
That's why he got killed.
So
The
what we're
government
gonna
killed
do,
Malcolm X because he came into truth, and they killed Martin Luther King too.
And his son too.
If they used his emotions, he really destroyed his
the
people.
black slave, after receiving this indoctrination, will carry on and will become self-refueling and self-regenerating for hundreds or maybe thousands of years. Hold on. Dad,
Yeah,
read this.
sure.
Our experts.
Tony, get me some more of that good drink, Mary. What do you call it? Please. Aloe vera, please. Fill it up. I need some. All right, where do you want me to start, Josh?
Our
Warning?
experts.
Huh?
Our experts. Our experts.
Where's that? Oh, yeah. Our experts warned us about the possibility of this phenomenon.
So they
occurring.
knew this awakening was going to eventually come back in the 1700s. They were prepared for this. Read.
For they say that the mind has a strong drive to correct and recorrect itself over a period of time if it can touch some substantial original historical base.
So basically what they said, if these slaves eventually come back to the knowledge of who they are, our system falls.
That's right. And they advise us that the best way to deal with this phenomenon is to shave off the brute's mental history.
To do what?
Look at that. Shave off.
To take away
His identity.
His
That's
identity.
right.
Read.
Mental history and create a multiplicity of phenomenon or illusions so that each illusion will twirl in its own orbit. Something. Okay.
Before I read this, I want to show
Thank you,
you
Mary.
one of the oldest pictures that is in existence of Christ and his apostles. This relic is in the Cairo Museum in Egypt.
Show him, Josh. Come down, right there. Stay still. Okay. So, truly, without history, without knowing your history, you don't know the Bible.
Now, I want to read this edict that was set up by the Pope,
Want me to close it?
Pope Alexander
Leave this open?
VI. No, close it.
Okay.
Um,
You want me to read it, Josh? Okay, where do we start? When we start down there? Okay. Remember, Ashanti, how you say?
yeah,
Ashanti.
the Ashanti.
Ashanti. Remember the Ashanti, the Igbos, Jews of Nigeria, Beta Jews of Ethiopia, the Phalashia Jews, the Timba tribe, and
The
Limba tribe, and all of
So all these different tribes are Hebrews tribes in Africa.
you see word Jews, it means Hebrew. Of all the Hebrews in the wheat coast, the Gold Coast and so-called slave coast of West Africa. These people worship the power of the Sabbath.
So before they were brought to America, the Israelites were actually following the Bible. So
that's right.
Don't let people think that America brought you the truth.
They circumcised their sons on the 8th day.
So they kept the law of circumcision.
They kept the dietary law of.
So in other words, they didn't eat unclean food. So
in the 11th chapter,
took them being brought here to eat pork.
That's right. In the 11th chapter of Leviticus, they kept the blowing of trumpets and the feast days. The people of the captivity were non-believers of what? Examine the verbiage from the Council of Laodicea. It states that Christians must not Judaize by resting on the Sabbath.
So the
day.
Catholic Church made an edict that
verbiage
from them, it's a sin to keep the Sabbath. So that's why they teach you in church
to worship
not
on Sunday.
To celebrate the Sabbath, because they've got that doctrine from the Pope.
That's right.
Not the Bible, but the Pope.
That's right. Resting on the Sabbath day, but must work on that day.
Must what?
Must work.
So the Sabbath is now the work day instead of the Saturday. Sunday is the day of rest now instead of the Sabbath.
Now watch this. Watch how this really confirms what the Most High's day is. Rather honoring the Most High's day, Sunday, which, Lord, if they be found resting as Christians, but if any should be found to be Judaizers, let them be anathema.
In other words, according to them,
from
according
Christ,
to Christianity, if you keep the Sabbath, you're not following the Bible.
This is one of the reasons why the Europeans justified enslaving the black Hebrews from West Africa, because they were Judaizers. After all of these official documents coming from the Anglo-Saxon and the Jew priest papacy, you have a strange event taking place in 1865. Remember, under the law of darkness, it was illegal to teach the Negro to read or write. So who do you suppose made this way to be the so-called slave quarters to instruct the Negroes in the ways of Christ?
So, excuse me.
Sure.
Basically, what the author is starting to explain is, since it was illegal for your people to read during slavery, right?
You got Josh.
Since it was illegal for you to read during slavery, who was teaching you the Bible? Because you weren't learning it yourself. Because you would be killed if you read
That's
for
right.
yourself.
That's right.
Read.
Okay. And the papacy taught our fathers how to worship contrary to the scriptures.
So the Christian theologians came on the slave.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. Remember, the Negro couldn't read or write under the law of darkness. So who do you think taught the Negro his religion? It was the papacy, and the papacy taught our fathers how to worship God contrary to the scriptures. Wow. This is why the Most High had the prophet to write, this people has been robbed and spoiled, robbed of his memory, his identity, his resting place, and his God.
So
wow.
Stop. And I want to show you.
Wow.
Hold on. Say something right fast. Like
yeah. It's just you have to get these books. You really have to get these books. Once a month, we show all our books that we've acquired right in the last 7 years. And there's a lot of them, but I'll tell you, every one of them is worth buying. They're not that expensive. If you don't know history, you do not know the Bible. The Bible is a history book of the black Hebrews. It's not about us.
So I want to show you some pictures, and I'm gonna read. We're gonna read something out of this after the Valley of the Dry Bones. I want to show you some. Now again, all this is in the Bible. See this? That is Bible prophecy looking at you in the face.
Stay there. Wait, let them see. Okay. I spoke to a brother. Okay, I'll tell him.
Look at your forefather Joseph.
Down. Come closer.
That's Joseph.
What does that look like to you? A white man? We even have a picture somewhere in our books. The Pope himself from Rome bowing down to the Black Christ. A picture.
Now, if Jesus was white, why would a white man worship the Black Christ?
They can't see it right. Put it up more. Up and closer. Look at that. The Pope of Rome bowing down to the Black Christ.
Because he knows who the real master is.
That's right.
He just doesn't want you to know who you are. I want to show you something fast.
Any more left in that? Okay, I got one side. I think, right?
I'm gonna show you something. I want to show you. If anyone is wondering what the authors of the New Testament look like, let me show you. That's what the authors of the New Testament look like.
Mm-hmm.
That's Paul and Peter. They're not white. They don't look white to me unless I'm colorblind. They look like Negroes.
That's what Paul and Peter looked like.
And this relic is in the Norvad State Museum of Russia. It's dated to 1000 AD. By the way, hold on. I'm going to go open to Psalms 83. We'll read that.
Okay.
I want to show them something.
I got to rush that. Hang on to it.
Yeah.
You watch something on YouTube?
No.
Did I stay home?
No. No, you don't have a home anymore. You got another family. The world. Psalms where? 83?
Now look at this image.
Tell me where?
This is the image of King James, who authorized the translation of the King James Version Bible. That's what the brother looked like. He was an Israelite.
That's right.
Let me show you some pictures that are proven.
Forgive me. Ah, what a day.
I want to show you some pictures of nobility, the black rulers of Europe. That's something they won't teach you, that Europe was once ruled by slaves, what they would call slaves today. Anyway, just look at all these black dignitaries of Europe. Then you know
Who ruled this world at a certain time in history.
this is the Valley of the Dry Bones. Page 54. The color of the Israelites. There is one question that is often asked me: were the ancient Israelites a white people in biblical days? The answer to this is a resounding no. I have no doubt of my conviction, and no reason to lie. The Europeans had a reason to lie, to develop white supremacy. They lied about the truth and made it illegal for the black man to read, and during slavery times. This event took place when whites prevented the blacks from defending themselves. They reinforced this lie by painting white pictures throughout the Bible and placing white pictures on religious calendars, producing lily white television programs and religious movies.
Come on.
As a result of
That's
this
right.
overt deception, the modern generation, white and black, just assumes without the facts that the ancient Israelites were white. Psalms 83, and we'll close. Psalms 83 and 2.
I'll put this back. I'll start. Put these back now. You gonna stay on this? Watch some things. Maybe listen to the car. Just decided to stay home one night first. You come back with me if you want to tomorrow night.
I might.
All right. 2 hours. All right.
It ain't nothing, 2 hours.
All right.
Let's read the Bible.
A prayer for the destruction of Israel's enemies. Keep not thou silent, O Most
So
High.
David is praying to the Most High to always hear the prayer of his people in oppression. Read.
Hold not thy peace,
Hold not thy peace, Ahayah. Read.
and be not still, O Most Power.
Read.
For lo,
For what?
for lo,
For lo,
thine enemies,
thy what?
thine enemies,
No, they're their friends.
thine enemies
Thy what?
make a tumult.
In other words, they make a noise against you.
And they that hate
They
thee
that what?
love thee.
I thought, wait, they that what?
Hate thee,
They that love you,
hate thee,
like you.
hate thee,
Read.
have lifted up the head.
Read.
They have taken crafty
They have
counsel.
taken what?
Crafty counsel. Witchcraft counsel.
What's
against
that
thy
mean? They
people.
have taken like a,
Secret.
like overt, like
Sneaky.
cunningness.
Cunning, that's right.
Right. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
With thy, so
Who's
they have,
hidden?
they have consulted to keep you hidden.
Hidden, that's right. You're hidden, that's right. They have said, come and let us cut them off.
Do what?
Cut them off.
No, let's give them the knowledge. Let's do what to them?
And let's cut them off from being a nation.
From being a what?
A nation.
So let's call them Africans. Let's call them Haitians.
That's
Let's
right.
call them Hispanics.
Come
Read.
on. That the name of Israel,
The name of who?
Israel,
The name of who?
Israel,
Continue.
may be no more in remembrance.
Read.
For they have consulted together with one consent.
So the nations are against you and they're together. They profit off of you being separated. Read.
They are confederates against thee.
Now go to Psalm 64.
They are confederate. Okay. Psalm 64.
64. Backward. We'll close with
Okay. Psalm 64.
we'll close in Psalm 10. Read Psalm 64 2.
All right. Ready? Mary? Tony? Just go back the other way, honey. Psalm 64.
Verse what? Verse 2?
2.
Continue. Read. Let's bring it out.
Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
What is the secret council?
Crafty.
The UN,
That's right.
the Bilderberger,
Come on.
all these secret white elite councils
The Rothschilds,
that are against you.
Come on. From the insurrection of the workers of iniquity, who whet their tongue like a sword.
That whet their tongue like a what?
Sword.
So they use their technology, mainly their television, to promote the negative view of your people.
And then
That's why all movies with black people always something negative in them.
that's right.
To keep that spirit of negativity and insecurity in your people.
They give them money and
To
fame
degrade you.
to degrade you.
Or-
That's right.
Better word, demean you.
That's right. And bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Even bitter words. Read.
That they may shoot in secret at the perfect.
So the perfect are the children of Israel. Read.
That's right. Suddenly do they shoot at him.
Suddenly do they what?
Shoot at him.
So suddenly they come together secretly and they make laws and conditions to control you. Read.
And fear not.
Why? Because they know the majority of your people love them. They follow them. Read.
They encourage themselves.
They do what?
They encourage themselves.
So they praise one another for doing this.
In an evil manner. They consume. They commune of lion snares privily. Read. They say, who shall see them?
Who shall? In other words, since we have the power and the money, who's going to see what we've really done?
That's right. They search out iniquities.
They do what?
They search out.
No, they search out righteousness.
They search out iniquities.
They search out peace.
Iniquities.
Love.
Iniquities.
They search out sin. In other words, they profit off of your people being in sin. So that's why they teach you the law is done away with.
That's right.
So if you know the law, that you're not under the law from God, whose law are you going to follow?
Wow.
That you're going to follow his law, your oppressor's law, instead of God's law. Read.
They consult. They accomplish a diligent search.
They use all their money to come up with new strategies of keeping you diminished.
Both the inward thought of every one of them.
Both the deepest part of their minds.
And the heart is deep.
Deeply set against destroying you.
Wow.
Go to Psalms 10 and 5. Last 10 and 4. Last precepts for the night. Then we'll close.
10 and 5. Are you going to go back to that film?
This is what you're supposed to learn when you read the Bible.
That's right. Okay. Psalms 10, 5. Ready?
So they profit again. They profit. Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Read.
His ways are always grievous.
So the Esau's ways towards his brother Jacob always are painful and evil.
That's right.
He never intends good towards his brother.
Thy judgments are far above out of his sight.
They are far up. In other words, the right way how to set up laws are out of his mind.
As for all his enemies.
So as for his brother Jacob, read.
He puffeth at them.
He hates them.
He had said in his heart.
He had said in his inward being, read.
I shall not be moved.
So in other words, my way of doing things and my system. What's that scripture? Psalms 49. Hold that. Go to Psalms 49. Psalms 49 and 11. That's what I want. Psalms 49 and 11.
Okay, I got it.
Psalms 49 and 11, Dad.
Their inward thoughts.
So when the Bible talks about the inward thought is the thought deep within the mind.
Their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever.
So just like we read in Psalms, Psalms 10, 6, how their inward thought is that they will always continue. In other words, the way they've set up their system, and especially the way they have the system against their brother Jacob, will always continue. There's nothing going to stop them. So they've become so arrogant and so prideful, then they've forgotten who gave them that power.
That's right.
They've forgotten they're just a stick in the hand of the Most High.
That's right.
But the Most High is going to take that stick from them eventually and use it against them.
And their dwelling place.
So their governments, their banks, their media, their entertainment, their churches,
wow.
their mosques, their whole system, right? Their dwelling places, read.
Their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations.
So that's why we hear this all. Everyone's getting a 10-year contract,
right? Yes,
a 15-year contract.
Oh, yeah.
You have a 7-year car deal, right?
How about next generation?
Everything's always future. They always program you to think the end is so far in the future when the end's very near, is upon us.
They called their lands after their own names.
Go back to Psalms 10. That's how America got the name America, from Americus Vespucci, right? Psalms 10:6.
All right, but the real name is Astaroth, hidden one, hidden place, right? Hidden land. What verse?
Psalms 10:6.
10:6. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved.
I shall not. In other words, my way of life and the way I programmed the people to think will never change. Read.
For I shall never be in adversity.
So my way of life will never be challenged.
His mouth is full of cursing.
In other words, he always has evil to speak against his brother.
And deceit and fraud.
Deceit and what?
Fraud.
So deception and lying is what? Read.
Fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
So under the TV is all lies.
That's right.
Everything you see on TV is fake.
Television. And that,
exactly. Just like he said. What is television? They want you to see the world through their vision.
Come on.
So you can't see the world through reality, through the Bible.
He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages.
What are the lurking places? The pin houses, the UN, all the high places where he can determine the way society runs.
That's right. In the secret places doth he murder the innocent.
So he what are the secret places? The ghetto, where no one wants to live. So he uses the ghetto as a trap so he can kill his brother Jacob. Read.
His eyes are privily.
His eyes are what?
Privily set.
Privily means strictly or mainly. So his eyes are programmed against his brother.
Or like, privately set.
Like when a sniper puts the crosshairs on somebody and pulls the trigger.
Right.
That's how his eyes are set.
His eyes are privily or privately set against the poor.
Read.
He lieth in wait.
He does what?
Secretly.
He does what?
Lieth in wait.
So he waits. He sits back and he waits
for an opportunity.
Like a lioness waiting for a zebra.
That's right. He lieth in wait to catch the poor.
Read.
He doth catch the poor.
So now how does he do it? Read.
When he draweth him into his net.
His financial net, his entertainment net, his television net, his religious net. Continue.
That's right. Arise.
No. Wait. He croucheth.
Oh, I'm sorry. He croucheth it. He humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. He has said in his mind or spirit, I have forgotten.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Slavery is over.
I'm a Christian.
That's in the past. No one really hates us no more.
He hideth his face.
Yeah. God doesn't pay attention to what happens to you.
He will never see it.
That's good, Dad. Close the Bible. But the Most High will never forget his elect.
That's right.
His children, the Israelites, the so-called Negroes and Hispanics. Your salvation is coming.
I want to say something.
You may have to go through hell and high water to get it, but endure and you will get it.
All of the mega churches and even the small ones now will always deny that they're Hebrews and that the tribes are done away with.
It's programmed.
Because they're programmed to believe.
That's their programming.
Now we've given you the word and showed you over and over again for 7 years who they are.
It's not an argument. It's just what it is, right?
Praise the Lord.
You can't.
Praise the Most High.
You can't deny the obvious.
That's it.
You can only use cliches and empty vain
vanity.
words of
right.
philosophy to get around the obvious.
That's right.
So that was a good Sabbath lesson. We hope everyone enjoyed it. We sure did.
Bless you, Joseph.
And we love our brothers and sisters of Waco, Israel, and Shalom.
Shalom.